Zorks, this club's is one of the clubs that's been severely impacted by the floods. There's a lot of flood damage around here. How difficult has it been for training here, and have you spoken to any other clubs that I know that you're associated with, Broadbeach and all those other ones?
Yeah, obviously, down on the Gold Coast as well, and obviously northern New South Wales have been affected severely, and I think just driving in here, all you guys would have seen just the wreckage that's out on the streets. It's extremely saddening to see that. Like, so many people have lost homes and all their life possessions. So the football clubs around Queensland, around South Brisbane and North Brisbane, obviously down to the Gold Coast, are heavily affected, and as a club we're going to try and do our best to sort of help them and support them through in whatever way we can. Big fan. I think round 3 against the North Melbourne Kangaroos, obviously our connection with Nobes has allowed us to put some money from that game towards the flood relief. I know players, we're going to donate our boots as well. So anything that we can sort of do to help, kickstart these community football clubs and get them back up and running and their seasons running, as Trish just mentioned, I think it's the least we can do. But it's extremely sad to see, just what's happened over here the past 14 days.
Some of the guys and girls and women in both the teams have been personally affected themselves.
Yep.
How quickly was that decision as a playing group to get boots and jerseys and all those things and start talking about raising money for floods?
Yeah, it didn't take long. Obviously, Mitch, Rob, myself, there's a few other in our coaching staff that have been affected by the floods. So I think it was just great that all the heads could come together, both the men's team and the women's team, and come up with an initiative. We're in that position where we can help. So I think it's extremely important that we do, and all those things that I've just mentioned are going to be great to hopefully, help and reach out to the community and make sure they don't feel like they're alone in this time.
I guess footy and sport can be such an important outlet as well, like especially for kids that have been affected, to be able to have something to distract themselves with, like going to footy next Saturday night. You guys will no doubt want to kind of put on a bit of a show for Brisbane after happening for the year.
Yeah, definitely. I think, we're in the business of entertainment, and I think if we can take, their minds away from what's just happened over here in the past 14 days, I think that's great. And it's, as you said, it's great that we're able to do that. So if it eases the pain for a little bit, that's great. And obviously, as I said, if there's anything else we can try and do as a club and as a whole AFL community, I'm sure we'll try and get it done.
So do you have any concern that you haven't been able to get a lot of match play in personally this pre-season?
Oh, look, I think you'd always like to play a little bit more than what I have, but that's just the nature of the beast. But I'm pretty confident I'll be right for round 1. We've still got 11 or 12 days before we play. Should be able to rack up a few Ks before then. Fish, what do you reckon?
They said minor surgery on your ankle. What was the procedure? What was the effect?
So I was only about 14 days without, doing a hell of a lot. It was just a minor procedure around the Achilles. Beauty about it is they're taking stuff out, they weren't putting stuff in, so it's a pretty easy job, pretty minor. And I've been running for nearly 2 weeks now, so it's going to be more about just making myself feel comfortable and feeling like I can play at that level, and if I can't, then so be it. But I'm pretty optimistic I'll be right.
So your full training load?
Yep.
Or where are you up to?
Yep. So, I was able to complete a really solid session over the weekend, and then again today, and we'll have another hit out Friday and Tuesday. So if I can get through that, I think we're all systems go.
You got half that match sim in a couple of weeks ago after the
Yeah.
Saturday. You came out and a bit of a talk that you've been playing on half back, but is that where we should see you this season?
I'll have to wait and see.
But just on that
yeah.
Did you pull up a bit sore after that, and that's when
Yeah.
you need to have the operation?
Yeah. So it happened just after that. I was able to get through the game, relatively well, but after doing a little bit extra conditioning, it just sort of pulled up a bit sore, so we just went and investigated it, and obviously the quickest and easiest procedure was to do what I had done, so that's all well and good. On the half-back thing, look, we're trying different things to keep opposition guessing. We've had multiple players play different positions this off-season to, I guess be flexible and try and stay ahead of the game. I think every team's trying to do that, and this is just one area as though we feel like we can potentially throw to if needed, but I think it's pretty evident that the boys would prefer me in and around the ball, so I'd say I'd be somewhere around there.
Was playing A for half back Plan A for halfback doesn't look like it's going to happen with Kitty.
Yeah, that's obviously disappointing. Yeah, his injury's a bit of a high hamstring strain. So, yeah, that's really disappointing for him because he's probably had his best pre-season since he's been at the club. And then obviously Jimmy Madden as well. He's got a little bit of a shin soreness, but talking to him just before, he seems relatively fine. So, yeah, they were two pretty significant losses the other night. Yeah, Kitty's probably a little bit worse than what Jimmy's will be, but yeah, talking on Kitty's, he's going to try and do everything he possibly can, but he's probably just going to miss.
Was your procedure have any correlation to the troubles you had there in 2020?
Other leg, fish. So, no. Yeah. But similar.
You did a lot of work last year to sort of manage yourself through the season. How much longer do you want to keep doing that? Is the simple answer. I mean, if it's that much work to get on the field, and that's a tough thing to go through.
Yeah.
Is this the last season of Dayne Zorko at the Brisbane Lions?
You ended my career already.
No, I'm asking.
Just thinking. Nah, look. Yeah, obviously it's been unfortunate the past few years that I haven't been able to have as good a pre-seasons as potentially as what I would have liked. But at the same time, getting on and getting older, it's probably not the worst thing. And Fags reassures me that you know, as you get older, you do have a few tickets in the bank, and probably calling all my tickets at the moment. But yeah, ideally I'd like to be out there training every session with the boys, but at the moment that's just not where it is for me. But I have full faith in the medical staff that they can get me up and running, and they've done it before. They did it with Hodgie, did it with Birch, so I'm probably not in their bracket yet in terms of age, but feels like we might be pushing that way anyway.
Zorks, your counterparts have faith in you. Captain's poll have Melbourne and the Lions overwhelmingly making the grand final, according to the other captains in the club. In the club.
Thanks, guys. What do you want me to say? Yeah, obviously I think that's probably built off the back of what we've been able to do over the past 3 years. We certainly feel like we're continuously building, and as I said, we're trying to add different things to our bow so we can actually compete a lot deeper in September, which every club wants to do. So fingers crossed we've been able to learn a lot of what has happened in the past 3 years. Certainly be great to do that. Everyone strives to get there. We're no different, and I think if we can stay healthy, our game plan certainly works. We've proven that over the past 3 years. So yeah, if all the stars can align for us, it'd be great.
Leading premiership windows.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, for sure. Just depends on how quickly you can get there, really. And I think we may have gotten there a little bit earlier a couple of years ago in 2019. Obviously going from a season where we won 5 games to then all of a sudden winning 16, and we're playing our first final series for 10 or 11 years. Like it happened so quickly, and we probably weren't ready for that, but I can guarantee you the boys are ready for it now.
You talk about, this is all external pressure, these polls and things, and all the first kind of being on, and they go all the way,
Yep.
How much of it, honestly, is internal pressure? Do you guys know internally what it is you have to do, that box that's left to tick?
Yeah, well, I mean, all those polls are great, but guarantees you nothing at the end of the day. I guess all we can really control and execute is what Fags and the coaching staff, what we've done all pre-season to try and get right, and that's our game plan. We need to clean up a few things. We need to throw the opposition different looks, and that's something that we probably haven't been able to do the last few years, but we feel like we've trained all those areas this year. So I mean, if that was the piece of the puzzle that's missing, we've certainly left no stone unturned to get there. So internally, we know what we have to do. We know what shape we need to be in, and I think that's the beauty about the experience over the last 3 years.
Zorks, the start that the team had last year, I think a couple of losses from the first game, and it put us behind the 8 ball a bit. I guess you're sort of hoping for a better start, this season, to not push under the early pressure. Yeah, definitely. I think apart from the first quarter against Sydney last year, that was probably the only positive out of that first month for us. I mean, we were able to beat Collingwood, but even that was a bit scratchy, but it was obviously great to get the win. But yeah, you start 1 and 3 and you're really behind the 8 ball. So we've spoken about how we would like to start this season, and we've got a great opportunity next Saturday night against Port Adelaide to execute better than what we did last season. So we'll be going out to do that, but
internally we've certainly spoken about it, and it's an area we need to clean up.
Do you think Bags settle on this 22?
Nope. No, definitely not, because one thing that we have, worked hard on in the pre-season is obviously, that flexibility amongst players to play different positions, and there's been a lot of guys in our reserves on the weekend that played really well up against Southport, so that throws even more headaches into it. I mean, our senior team performed really well against the Bulldogs, so it's going to be hard to drop players. So, there's a few notables that would probably, you'd have to think would come in. So, I mean, everything's up in the air, but I think the beauty about it is at the moment our injury list is really healthy. There's plenty of competition around the club, and I think that's what you need to really drive success.